Now, this is an interesting one.
Okay.
I have seen a lot of people saying that Superman Legacy
Mhm.
is the last chance for DC. So there's a couple of bits to why people have this opinion. I don't think it's completely unfounded, but I
Okay.
do think they're missing the bigger picture as well. So the
Okay.
main criticism comes from DC films have basically made dick all money for 4 years now.
Right. Yeah.
And Blue Beetle, which even the people who've seen it like, isn't exactly setting the world on fire, money-wise.
Yeah.
So if Superman, which historically has always done well at the box office,
Mhm.
like even all the way back in the 80s, can't make a boatload of money,
Yeah.
are Warner Brothers just going to pull the plug? Because I guess the argument would be, if you can't even get people in to watch a Superman film,
Mm.
what the fuck are they going to turn up to see? And there's a couple of nuances to this. You've got some people who are like, if Superman Legacy fails, maybe they give up on the connected universe for a little while and
Yeah.
just go back to individual projects like Matt Reeves' Batman and stuff like that. But it's definitely an interesting one.
Yeah. I definitely, when you were saying that there, I was thinking it might be their last chance to have a successful connected universe to try and compete with the precedent that MCU set. But I don't think it did. Like they would. Warner Brothers isn't just going to ditch DC. They've seen success with Matt Reeves' Batman and some of these other more standalone DC projects. So I think there's some merit to, like, if this doesn't succeed, maybe this. I think phase one, what James Gunn's plan to make, I think they would give that whole phase a try, even if Superman's a bit slow off the rip. I think if it's the first three films have come out and it's like, okay, this isn't doing well, I think it doesn't get to expand past that. Like maybe James Gunn tries to do all the setup, and if it's gone nowhere and no one cares about it, then maybe Warner Brothers is like, okay, yeah, this ain't going any further.
It's it's a tricky one because growing up in the time we've grown up, it's difficult to imagine anyone would stop making superhero films just because of how much money they can make.
Hmm.
But you've got a lot of people on the internet shouting and screaming about what DC should do and what they shouldn't do, but no one's turning up to the cinema.
True.
Um, and like it's become like a recurring meme. It's like DC fans on the internet, and it's just like a packed out stadium, and it's like DC fans in real life, and it's just an empty cinema screen.
Yeah.
Um, it's really, really rough. They need a couple of big hitter characters
Hmm.
to go out there and do bits, and then they need to try and do their secondary characters. The problem
Yeah.
I think that people aren't talking about enough is the Schneider fanboys. I genuinely believe, without going to watch films, they are talking shit on a film purely because they are fighting this restore the Schneiderverse, sell the Schneiderverse to Netflix bullshit. And it's created such toxicity around it. And they're just relentlessly talking shit about anything that's not his, to the point where people who are more casual are just going, "Oh, it's not people."
Yeah.
The
DC's not
people
doing
who
great.
who watch this stuff all the time aren't impressed, so I won't bother. Which is fine. It is absolutely fine if you hear the opinion of someone you respect or trust.
Mm.
Like, I'd like to think if me or you said to our close friends or our family, "I went to see that, it's not any good," that they
Yeah.
go, right, that they know what they're talking about, we'll trust them. Um, and I just wonder if them Schneider fans are potentially part of the reason. Of course, I don't think they are the sole reason. The films have not been good enough,
Yeah.
but I think that issue then compounds.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's just like the collection of the rough ending to the DCEU. People what sort of sold on this like build up of a connected DC universe, and then it's all just fallen apart. So people are like, well, is it going to work a second time round? Adds confusion as well to the casual fans. I think, like you say, you've got the Snyder fans that are so stuck on this idea that Henry Cavill is Superman and no one else can now be Superman. And but at the time they shit talked, but they want Ben Affleck as Batman. But then they used to shit talk Ben Affleck as Batman, and then people are get annoyed now about Wonder Woman, but they still want like there's this weird like we want our actors and actresses to still be these characters, but we also want to hate on them. It's which is all just creating this like weird place where casual fans and people that are just trying to enjoy DC are now like, well, that let it go. Just let it go and let's move on. I do think James Gunn has a very like big uphill battle to get DC off the ground again. Until that first look comes in of Superman
The
Legacy.
only thing that makes me a bit more confident
Mm.
is once Aquaman is done,
Yeah,
DCEU is done.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure in 2024 the only live action film we have is a Folie à Deux, which everyone knows is separate anyway.
yeah.
So that'll be easy. And then in 2025 we can start fresh with Superman Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
That is almost certainly going to be delayed because these strikes don't seem to be ending anytime soon. But
Yeah,
that's supposed to be 2025. It might be late 2025 instead of early 2025.
yeah,
That hopefully gives enough time for there to then be a desire again.
yeah.
As stupid as it sounds, these strikes might actually bring back good superhero projects because a lot of stuff is going to get delayed, but also because they're going to be paying people more, they're going to be crunching them less because it's not just the money they're asking people for, it's also better
Yeah.
conditions overall.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then if this VFX unionization goes through and potentially they strike, we might see shoddy below par CGI dip because you're not going to have VFX workers essentially living in sweatshops just to get this product out that's forcing them to work too hard for too long on not enough sleep and then making silly mistakes. And it's one of these things where I will sit here and go, yeah, the CGI wasn't good enough. I'm not blaming a VFX artist for the CGI not being good enough because every VFX artist working on Hollywood, if given enough time, will make the CGI look good. If the CGI looks bad, it's purely because it's rushed. And that is
Oh
not
yeah.
on the VFX artist, that is on the person
The
making them
studios.
decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. 100%. I think you're right. I do think the year off, like, we need to get. We're in this weird dying curve of the DCU where we keep being drip fed these like final projects that we've said for months don't mean anything. We just want them out of the way. And I think once that happens, like you say, there'll be that break. There'll be a bit of a desire for DC stuff again. Maybe a bit of like anticipation for the first look at the new Superman. Like when we get like even if it's just a still of him in the suit or the first teaser. Hopefully that is well received and that kind of reinvigorates everyone a bit.
100%. And I think a Folie à Deux based on how well Joker did. I mean, Joker is the most well-received R-rated film of all time. Yeah, like the most profitable R-rated film of all time. There is going to be a large amount of people who want to go see that sequel. And then we'll have nothing until Superman Legacy. And then you'll probably get Matt Reeves' second Batman film around the same time.
Yeah.
So you're going to go from a bunch of shit projects that no one wanted to the sequel everyone's been begging for.
Yep.
New Superman, and I refuse to ever believe Superman won't put butts in seats. And the sequel to the best Batman film ever.
Yeah.
That is a real chance if they could go 3 for 3 there to light DC back on fire.
Yeah, I mean, you've also got the Penguin series as well.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at with that. I'm not sure if they've started writing or filming or anything with the strikes. But yes, that is also coming.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
For sure.